Today, I am going to discuss about Environment Impact Assessment, in short, EIA. My name is Renz Thomas, my roll number 18 UBC 148. Next, we are going to discuss about what is EIA. Environment Impact Assessment is a process of evaluating the environmental impacts of a proposed developing project, taking into account interrelated socio-economic, cultural, and human health impacts, both beneficial and adverse. The United Nations Environmental Project defines EIA as a tool used to define the environmental, social, and economic impact of a project prior to decision making whether to accept or reject the developing project. The main aim is to promote sustainable development by ensuring the development proposals do not undermine the critical resources and ecological functions or the well-being, which means that EIA was established to promote sustainable development, that is used to preserve the environment for the future generations so that they can depend the environment for their needs. The recent EIA issue is EIA Draft 2020. Next, we are going to discuss about how to get environmental clearance for a development project. The first step is to identify the location for implementing the development project. The location is selected in such a way that it is beneficial both for the project as well as it has a positive impact on the locality it is established. Conduct the environment assessment in that particular locality. The environment assessment deals with the relationship in that particular locality, that is relation between organisms and various living and non-living things, and also it accounts for various diverse organisms and their number, and also various factors, that means climatic, uh, withering, etc. After preparing the environment assessment report, the organization goes for NOC. They apply for NOC. After applying for NOC, the environmental committee in that particular locality conducts a public hearing, which includes people of that particular locality and also as well as personnel from the government. In this particular public hearing, the public is asked their opinion, and also they will validate the report, and they will consider all the proposals made by the uh, development organization, developing project organization. And after that, if that particular developing project report is have more positive attitude towards the environment, that is given the green flag, that is they can go for go before the environmental appraisal committee with the sanctions of the SPCB, and also with the environment assess report. And the environmental appraisal committee review the whole report along with the sanctions and the public opinions. They will finally come to a decision whether to accept or reject or propose some suggestions for that development project. If the development project is given sanctions to implement, the development organization can move forward for implementing that project. If it is proposed some suggestions, they need to correct that, they need to make that particular changes and go before environmental appraisal committee again for getting the approval. If they are rejected, they are not reconsidered again. Nextly, we move on to a case study. Major projects in Kochi get rejected for not getting EIA. The Edakochi Stadium project and of the Kerala Cricket Association and the sewage treatment plant project of the Kochi Corporation at Mondaveli are the two major projects rejected by the state authority following the decision of the Ministry of Environment and Forest to inquire into the viability of such projects near water bodies. These projects have a diverse, destructive and destroying uh, impact on the water bodies and the water ecosystem near this locality they were identified. So these particular projects were rejected and they cannot be reconsidered. The expert committee on reclamation and construction of mangroves for construction, which rejected the STP at Mundamveli, Projects coming up of paddy fields, wetlands, or on waterfronts are going to have a tough time getting clearance. That it is impossible to get clearance for projects which are going to be established, which are determined to be get established near wetlands or on wetlands, because in India it is not valid or legal to establish on a development project or construction on a wetland or paddy fields which are meant for cultivation only. Lastly, we move on to importance of public awareness of about environment in India. As India is a very populated country, urbanization, poverty are at level best, so that we need to preserve our environment to uh, support life for this immense number of population. As population increases, the needs of the population, the needs of the people, it also increases. Therefore, it is very important to preserve our nature from very hazardous ill treatments. Environmental population, environmental pollution cannot be prevented by laws alone. It's impossible to prevent very hazardous pollutions by laws, by implementing laws. We need to practice. We need to make people aware what are the causes of pollution, what are the problems caused to mankind. Finally, public participation is also equally important with regard to environmental protection. Climatic laws, laws of biodiversity, declining fisheries, ozone layer depletion, illegal trade of endangered species are all some adverse results of what pollution and also ill treatments to environment. All this will be punished. Lastly, environmental public awareness campaigns. World Wetland Day is celebrated to spread the importance of wetlands. Wetlands are mainly meant for cultivation, which provides us food, which means that they are mainly meant for agriculture. March 21 is World Forestry Day, as forests are the lungs of our planet, and they support us. Forests provides oxygen, which supports life on Earth. So it's important to preserve forests, and importance of forests in supporting life on Earth is very important. April 22nd, World Earth Day. As World Earth, our planet Earth is subjected to huge number of oppressions and exploitations. So it's on this day we respect our Earth, and we need to preserve our Earth from all kinds of ill treatments, and also we should be the guardian angels of our planet, so that we can preserve our planet from such kinds of oppressions, exploitations, etc. June 5th, World Environmental Day. On this day we plant huge number of plants so that we can counterbalance the deforestation, which is at its highest rate in the last recent years. June 11th, World Population Day. World population and environment is closely related, as I mentioned before. September 16th, the World Ozone Day. Ozone is also another criteria that supports life on Earth, as ozone protects us from UV radiations. UV radiations on touching skin will produce cancer, so it's very hazardous to our life, to human lives, as well as along with other organisms. September 20th, Green Consumer Day. Green plants provides food as well as they provide oxygen. To spread the importance of green plants, they are the primary consumers. They are the basic level of every food chain. So the importance of green plants in supporting life on Earth is very important. So we need to preserve. We need to preserve, and also we need to protect them also. In this lecture, I would like to conclude that we are the guardian angels of our planet, and so we need to preserve them so that we can live more. We need to respect our Mother Earth, etc. Thank you for hearing my lecture. Thank you.